Emotions, they are shoved under the carpet and are not addressed. Like if I break down the word emotions, it is E plus motion, which is energy in motion. There is no school that ever talked about emotions. I want to ask you a small question, Tamanna. What is the first thing that a child does when it is born?
Cry.
Exactly. So emotions are our friends. So किसी कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट ने अपने क्लिनिक के बाहर लिख के लगा रखा था कि अगर आपने अपना दिल किसी के सामने खोला होता तो मुझे आपका दिल खोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती.
उन लोगों को क्या कहेंगे आप जो ये कहते हैं कि शॉपिंग इज माई थेरेपी, टॉकिंग टू माई फ्रेंड हील्स मी, दे डोंट वांट टू कीप थेरेपी एज एन ऑप्शन और एज अ रिजॉर्ट.
So therapy makes you self-reliant because therapy does not work on symptoms. Therapy works on the roots.
There is one more stigma that I want to address. Is therapy only for the people who are sick or is it for everyone? Today we have with us Dr. Shilpa Suri. She's a clinical psychologist with 20 years of experience. और आज हम उनसे जानेंगे कि थेरेपी में होता क्या है, थेरेपी होती कैसे है, and how it rewires our emotions, beliefs, brain, our nervous system. So let's meet Dr. Shilpa Suri and let's rewire with her. A very warm welcome, ma'am. Thank you for being on Rewire. Before we dive in, I want to acknowledge the incredible work that you do. You have spent so many years understanding the human mind, and आज मैं बहुत excited हूँ आपसे सीखने के लिए. So very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Tamanna. Thank you for having me over, and I'm so excited to be here and so looking forward to this conversation.
जो लोग मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में बात नहीं करना चाहते या जिन लोगों में रेजिस्टेंस है थेरेपी के अराउंड, फॉर द पीपल हु आर नॉट ओपन टू टॉक अबाउट मेंटल हेल्थ, सो व्हाई देयर इज़ सो मच स्टिग्मा अराउंड थेरेपी. तो आप हमें बताएं कि थेरेपी में होता क्या है.
Okay, so there are two questions that you ask. Stigma around therapy and what happens in therapy. So, we have 5 senses, Tamanna. So, जो भी दिखता है ना, वो अगर बिगड़ जाता है तो उसको करेक्ट करने की अर्ज या उसको करेक्ट करने की नीड बहुत जल्दी से रियलाइज़ हो जाती है. सो इफ़ यू आर हर्ट फिज़िकली और एनी सिस्टम ऑफ योर बॉडी isn't really functioning, so it's very visible that that part of your body or that hurt on your body needs to be treated.
राइट.
बट जो मेंटल हेल्थ के इश्यूज़ हैं, जिसको हम हिंदी में मानसिक समस्या कह सकते हैं, या जो जहनी इश्यूज़ हैं, वो दिखाई नहीं देते. सो एनीथिंग दैट यू कैन नॉट सेंस विद योर 5 सेंसेस becomes it is very difficult. They are such intangible things that समझ में ही नहीं आता, first of all, that what's going on. Then second thing is why there is stigma around that. So when we talk about mental health, we are talking about inability to handle our thoughts and inability to handle our emotions in the most efficient manner. Now, we are brought up in a society where emotions have always been equated to weakness.
Yeah.
So when we say somebody is sensitive, somebody is touchy, तारीफ तो नहीं कर रहे उसकी.
Yes.
Right. So emotions are considered to be villains. Not only are they considered to be villains, they are judged also. And unfortunately, we don't just judge emotions, good emotions, bad emotions, positive emotions, negative emotions. We even judge the people who are expressing or, experiencing those emotions. So when we start judging people on something, it's become very difficult because we all are scared of criticism. We all are scared of judgment.
Yeah.
So it becomes very difficult to come up and say that, yes, there is an issue around my vulnerability. I'm vulnerable to something. So just because as a society we criticize this, we judge emotions, so it becomes very difficult for someone to talk about emotional struggles in an open manner.
Very true.
Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. You have explained wonderfully. So, why do you think people associate vulnerability with weakness and not strength. Yeah.
Yeah, it is complete conditioning.
Yeah.
When a child is born, they only hear some sounds and they see things, but they don't attach meaning to it.
Yeah.
During our growing up years, through socialization, through learning, education, conditioning, exposure, observation, we start interpreting the world around us. So, whatever meaning we are attaching to any construct around us is something that has been handed down to us, or we have acquired it through parents, through teachers, or anybody,
Yeah.
you know, whom to whom we consider as a mentor.
Yeah.
So it for years, you know, because chivalry is something that has been celebrated, strength is something that is being celebrated. So vulnerability is considered to be a weakness because it, you know, maybe it has to do with the masculine feminine energies.
Yes.
And I mean, it has historically or contemporarily also, it's more of a masculine dominated environment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, vulnerability is considered as a very feminine, very soft, weak construct, and showing vulnerability is considered like absence of strength.
But what do you think? It is considered weakness, but it is actually strength because it opens up a lot of communication to the other person. It opens us to the other person.
Absolutely. Because it is considered a weakness, hence we have started ignoring it. And anything that we ignore, we shove it under the carpet, we do not address it.
Yeah.
So when emotions, they are shoved under the carpet and are not addressed, something very drastic happens to our bodies. Like if I break down the word emotions, it is E plus motion, which is energy in motion. And you're bottling up this energy and not giving it an outlet. So anywhere that energy that is being bottled up, it is going to create havoc in our systems.
Right.
That is how, I mean, it's an open secret now that unaddressed emotions would lead to dis-ease. And if I pronounce it correctly, it is disease.
Yeah.
So, instead of just being looking around and being driven by our senses, it is so important, Tamanna, that we become more self-aware and we tune into our bodies and our minds and realize and understand what's bothering me.
Yeah.
Am I okay? How do I do? And find answers to that. And whenever we hear that I'm not doing okay or I'm not feeling okay, let's pause and figure out a way to address it rather than just pushing it under the carpet.
Yeah. Wonderful. And what about therapy? How does therapy help people in addressing the emotions?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Tamanna, and I think a lot of our viewers also want to understand that. So, as I said, there is no school that ever talked about emotions, that ever talked about, you know, our thought processes. I want to ask you a small question, Tamanna. What is the first thing that a child does when it is born?
Cry.
Exactly. So, emotions is something that we are born with, and rest everything that we know today is acquired.
Yeah.
But what went wrong where that neither a school, nor parents, nor anybody around us talks about emotions. So, as a result, this raw energy that we are born in does not get properly channelized. So, emotions are our friends. They are like dakia, postmen, which just tell us what's not okay. You know, for example, if you're angry, it simply means a need is unmet.
Yeah.
An expectation has not been fulfilled.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So, every emotion, if you're joyful, it simply means that something is going as per the wish or the desire.
True.
So, now what a therapist does is he or she gives you a very safe, democratic space where you aren't judged, where you're allowed to be your own self. So there are no masks, no pretense. You can experience yourself the way you are, how you are feeling, what you are thinking. There are no suggestions. There is no fixing mechanism, but just a space where you can be you without any pretense, without any mask. So in 20 years of my therapeutic career, so many people, they really felt themselves the first time in the therapeutic room.
Yeah.
Because guards are low.
Yeah.
You don't have to act as being someone that you aren't.
Yeah.
All the layers are getting peeled off.
Yeah.
So you really experience yourself, the human that you are.
Yeah.
And then you realize, am I okay? And if I'm, or what is okay and what's not okay? And you also realize that it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And the turning point happens when some tools are shared with you to make that not okay, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, therapy makes you a self-reliant individual.
Yeah.
And now you have built up the capacity to accept your thoughts and your emotions as raw energy, or the entities that they are. And now you drive your thoughts and emotions the way you want to, rather than being driven by them in the direction which was completely oblivious to you.
Right, very true. So, mental health के around conversations and awareness बढ़ रही है अब.
Yes.
But still there is stigma around therapy. And I also feel that there is, this is also gender based. Women are more open to therapy rather than men. Why do you think that is so?
Thank you for asking this question,
Yeah.
Tamanna. So women पे ना बहुत pressure है to look good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cultural pressure on women to look good, and there is a lot of cultural pressure on men to look strong. And emotions is not considered as strength. We have labeled emotions, we are judging emotions as weakness. So now how can men tell the world or their families that I'm not feeling okay? Because it simply means you're the head of the family or you're a male, hence you put up a show of being perfectly fine emotionally, or knowing your, or being in charge of your emotions. In fact, there is hardly any dialogue amongst men about emotions and vulnerability.
Yeah.
But now there's a very interesting fact. And again, I'm going to ask you a question. Heart attacks किसको ज़्यादा होते हैं, तमन्ना?
Men को.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So किसी कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट ने अपने क्लिनिक के बाहर लिख के लगा रखा था कि अगर आपने अपना दिल किसी के सामने खोला होता तो मुझे आपका दिल खोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती.
Yeah, that is so true.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, there are a lot of biological, neurological differences, gender differences amongst men and women.
Yeah.
In emergency, men will go into fight or flight mode. They'll be flooding,
Yeah.
right? Whereas women, because of the evolutionary process, of course, the first reaction will be fight or flight. But then very quickly, the estrogen and progesterone take over, and women get into tend and befriend mode.
Okay.
So the moment there's a trouble, because women have female friends, and it's okay amongst women to discuss vulnerabilities, emotions, like you have the permission, the cultural permission to do that without feeling bad about it. So you'll talk about it, you'll cry. So nature has given us 3 cathartic mechanisms.
Okay.
Catharsis means to release your emotions. जैसे जब कुकर का steam भर जाता है, तो then वेट उठता है और वो विसल करता है. सिमिलरली God has given us 3 mechanisms कि अब भर गए हो, either talk or cry or laugh, right? So men would not talk because there's a lot of cultural pressure to put up that mask of being okay.
Yeah.
Crying is far away.
Yeah.
इसको तो permission ही नहीं है, लड़की की तरह रो रहे हो.
बिल्कुल.
Right. And yeah, I mean, sometimes laughter probably is there. So how men deal with their emotion is through substance abuse.
Yeah. And anger, lot of anger.
Correct. Again, it is cultural. Our emotions, our mental health issues are also gender specific and cultural. Like in anxiety, men would show more of obsessive compulsive disorder, whereas women will show panic attacks and a lot of, hypochondriasis or pain related issues, because that's how your culture permits you or allows you to express the overwhelm that you're experiencing.
Right.
So I'm so grateful that you asked it, but I mean, emotions know no difference between the gender. Whether you were a boy or a girl, the first thing that you did was crying, and you announced that I'm there. Yeah. But as you grow up, because you're not culturally permitted to express yourself, so men suffer in silence.
Okay. What went wrong in the conditioning of our children that leads to lack of vulnerability? क्या पेरेंट्स को ऐसा करना चाहिए या क्या गलत कर रहे हैं पेरेंट्स that people are not able to open up to anyone?
अगेन तमन्ना, क्योंकि हमें ना सीखा ना हमने सिखाया कि इमोशंस को हैंडल कैसे करना है. तो अब इमोशंस विलन्स बन गए, इमोशंस वीकनेस बन गए, राइट? तो how do parents handle a tantrum? How do parents handle crying spells? How does anybody handle sadness? जब बच्चा रोता है तो पेरेंट्स क्या कहते हैं? चलो पहले रोना बंद करो, फिर बात करेंगे. If there is a tantrum, right? Maybe in our culture there are 2-3 chatas that a child will get extra because emotions are contagious, right? Children tend to involve parents or parents become a part of their chaos. So the thing is that your question is that what went wrong. So emotions bring with them so much of chaos that we do not know how to handle that chaos. So instead of a parent being able to pull the child in their calm, the child pull the parent in their chaos. And when there is chaos, there is a crisis, and we do not know how to manage that crisis. Hence, there is so much of overwhelm that has gotten caused. So, and we don't know how to handle that. तो अब किसी को नहीं पता कि क्या करना है. So, very interestingly, parenting is not about raising a child. We raise cattle. Parenting is about becoming an adult who is calm and who is mature enough to deal with one's own crisis and overwhelm, and has the capacity to pass on the similar kind of maturity and calmness to the younger generation. So, simply put, you got to deal with your own emotions and traumas and diffuse them, and then you'll be able to handle and do a better job or doing justice with the little humans that we have brought in this world.
So handling our own emotions makes us the better parent.
Absolutely. Because now you don't have a baggage. And also you know to handle it so well that you're able to protect yourself and able to wade through and work through the chaos which has gotten caused by the presence of another little human in your life who is emotionally dysregulated. Because the regulation of the emotions is the job of a prefrontal cortex. And in children it is going to take some time. But imagine if a parent is not calm and the parent is overwhelmed, you're passing on the same overwhelm to the children as well, because they are learning through observation. So yes, parenting is all about working on your own self
Yeah.
and taking your own responsibility, diffusing, addressing what's not okay, and it's an ongoing process. It's a continuous process, and passing on the similar growth mindset to the child also, that we are all work in progress.
तो उन लोगों के लिए जो थेरेपी नहीं अफोर्ड कर सकते, हाउ डू दे वर्क विद देयर इमोशंस, हाउ डू दे डील विद देयर इमोशंस?
सो वैसे तो आजकल डिजिटल एप्स हैं, बहुत सारी एप्स हैं हु विच अलाउ यू टू regular check-ins, and then they teach you different tools to be able to deal with that. Other than that, breath work, yogic practices, and uh, you know the the acknowledgement that something isn't okay
Yeah.
and something needs to be addressed is very important. And having said that, all big hospitals, government hospitals, they have full-fledged psychiatric and departments with clinical
Yeah, very
psychologists, and
important.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if it is difficult, then we have different health organizations,
Yeah.
and we have free helplines also. In fact, yesterday only I was reading in the paper that there is 318% surge in the phone calls that GMCH 16 is
Oh.
receiving to do with
So that means awareness is increasing.
बहुत बढ़ गई है, बहुत
Very
बढ़
nice.
गई है. Yes.
Right.
COVID played a
Big role.
big role,
Yeah.
because at that time people realized that if we do not deal with this, we were a broken society,
Yeah.
and COVID just brought it to the forefront, exposed us. And then it became very important for people to understand that mental health is not something which is a luxury only few people would enjoy, but it's a basic way of being.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be peaceful and know how to live in a more happy and graceful manner.
राइट. उन लोगों को क्या कहेंगे आप जो ये कहते हैं कि शॉपिंग इज़ माई थेरेपी, या टॉकिंग टू माई फ्रेंड हील्स मी, और दे डोंट वांट टू कीप थेरेपी एज एन ऑप्शन और एज अ रिजॉर्ट?
So there is a concept called retail therapy, and we all indulge in it, isn't it? Because whenever you shop, it gives you a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
So dopamine hormone makes you feel short time pleasure,
Yeah.
but then it fades away. It comes and it goes away.
Yeah.
So it gives you a high for a very little period of time, but after that, the same activity or the same thing that you bought, once you've opened it or once you have worn it for once or twice, it's not going to give you the same intensity of pleasure that you experienced it when you used it for the first time. So what it would do is, or what dopamine does it makes you addicted to a particular kind of an activity. So that's how the term shopaholics,
Yeah.
isn't it? So it will give you temporary relief, but it is not even addressing your symptoms. And how much shopping will you do? A time will come that even shopping will, lose
Yeah.
its
Charm.
charm.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to think of something else. So you're becoming dependent. You're not being free.
Yeah.
You're getting from one, activity, you're just switching to, like children, from one toy to another and then to another. So instead, when you talk to a therapist, your friends, I know they are a great cure, but again, friends will also give you relief for some time. And our friends are also dealing with their own affairs. So God knows up till when would they be able to help you. When you go to a therapist, see, the ultimate goal of a therapist is to become redundant.
Yeah.
That you become so empowered
Yeah.
to deal with your, challenges, that you have the tools to sort of handle, address your issues on your own.
Yeah.
So therapy makes you self-reliant, because therapy does not work on symptoms. Therapy works on the roots, the cause of the symptoms. Anxiety, depression are symptoms. The root cause lies somewhere else. It could be a childhood experience that is so traumatizing that even thinking about it brings you, the angsty that you feel or the nervousness. So you have sort of really tucked it somewhere, uh, so beneath somewhere, you've so hidden it somewhere that only in the presence of a trained professional, the layer by layer it'll open, and we'll find out what happened and how that experience is controlling your narrative, your
Yeah.
perspective towards life.
Yeah.
So, what a therapist would do is they will edit your story,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So, your circumstances won't
Yeah.
change, your spouse won't change, your children won't change, your neighbor, your mother in law, your boss, nobody will change. But the way you look at your life will change. And that's the magic that
Yeah.
therapy creates.
So our perception will change, our internal script will change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because we do not suffer our reality, we
Yeah.
suffer the interpretation of our reality.
Yeah.
And if somebody could change that frame for you,
Yeah.
and you voluntarily do that
Yeah.
because you see
The growth.
the growth,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So, therapy gives you a new way of looking at your life,
Yeah.
which is more holistic, which is healthier. Hence, life becomes, the circumstances do not change, but your ability to deal with those challenges sees a lot of growth.
Yeah. There's one more stigma that I want to address. Is therapy only for the people who are sick, or is it for everyone, like people who are looking for growth as well?
Oh, wow. So, again, you have asked a very good question. So, to begin with, when we look at medicines, it looks like a remedial therapy or a remedial way that you get some symptoms, you get sick, you take medication, and you become better. But haven't we heard of something called as preventive medication?
Yes.
Isn't it? I mean, you are inoculated so that n number of diseases do not happen to you.
Yeah.
So, I practice positive psychology,
Okay.
which is more preventive.
Okay.
So, we don't wait for the symptoms to happen or
Yeah.
for the suffering to, come on surface.
Yeah.
Rather, it is building up more resilient, more gritty, more optimistic, more hopeful, and more mentally strong people, so that as and when,
Yeah.
a challenge happens, you are equipped to handle that challenge in the most effective manner.
Yeah.
And you're also able to tend that support or render that support to other people around you.
Yeah.
Right? So I generally say that you don't teach someone to swim when they are drowning.
Yeah.
You learn to swim during fair weather and
Yeah.
good weather.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So psychology builds up that muscle of resilience and grit that really helps you
Yeah.
as and when. Because, life will not give you a sort of a warning
Yeah.
before it throws something on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just like it is so normal to go to gym for the body,
absolutely.
it should be normal to go to therapy for mind.
Absolutely. What a fantastic example.
Yeah.
It's not that only when you've put on weight that you go to gym.
Yeah.
You want to maintain that fitness as well. You go to parlors.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that because there are already freckles or wrinkles, but you want to maintain your youthfulness. So thank you. It's such a lovely perspective, Tamanna.
Yeah.
So why wait for something to hit, for a challenge to happen, for a crisis to happen? एक बार हार्ट अटैक आ गया उसके बाद तो सभी वॉक करने लग जाएंगे, सभी डाइट चेंज कर लेंगे.
Yeah.
But why let that happen? Why not to build up our mental fitness and our mental strength,
Very true.
that we are prepared for whatever life brings to us.
throws at us.
Throws at us. Yeah.
So ma'am, give us some practical tips for parents जिन लोगों के बच्चे अभी छोटे हैं, who are yet to raise their children, कि क्या वो ऐसे चीज़ें इनकलकेट करे पेरेंटिंग में so to raise mentally strong children.
So तमन्ना, एक तो हम पहले ही बात कर चुके हैं, work on yourself.
Okay.
सबसे पहले, you got to be calm and an aware, parent who knows what's okay with you and what needs to work on, so that whenever things start going downhill, uh, you are aware that you are as much a party to the whole circus that is happening in the house, and not just that little human, right?
Yeah.
So being self-aware is extremely important. Second thing is, when we are bringing up children, yes, they are smaller in size,
Yeah.
but otherwise they feel and they emote almost exactly like we adults do. So I always tell this to parents, that always remember who's the maturer of the two, isn't it? You got to hold space for your children,
Yeah.
and not
The
vice
child.
versa. Third important thing is, God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
Listen to your children. I think more than the 3 words, I love you, what is a better feeling, or a more, reassuring feeling is, I understand you.
Yeah.
And we can only understand someone when we listen to them,
Yeah.
and we are able to give undivided attention to them. So, 3 times of a day, when you're waking your child up, when they come back from school, if they've started going to school, or when you're putting them to sleep, just be exclusively for your child, with your child. And it is very important for both the parents to spend maybe 10-15 minutes exclusively with the child. If you have 2 children, 10-15 minutes with one, 10-15 minutes with other, when you're just listening to your children, and you're giving them open space and safe space and democratic space to express themselves.
Yeah.
As adults, Tamanna, there's again, a very innate need to fix everything up for our children.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Learn to pause. Learn to give them the space where they can reflect back on their own thoughts, their own emotions. And parents do not have to provide all the solutions and all the answers. Rather, we need to master the art of asking questions,
Yeah.
so that children can reflect on those questions and find their own answers.
Right.
And when they do find their answers, the commitment to execute that is going to be much higher than when, an adult has just sort of dumped their opinion onto a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
So I think it is a great service we will do as adults to our children if we give them age-appropriate responsibilities,
Yeah.
if we allow them the capacity or the space to for age-appropriate decision-making, and also hold space for them when they are in an overwhelm, when they are unable to regulate themselves, because this is one skill that they will learn over the period of time.
Yeah.
They aren't born with it. They're only born with emotions. Emotional regulation is something that they will build up over the period of time, provided they have healthy role models,
Yeah.
and they have a ecosystem
Yeah.
which allows them that space to learn it and execute it.
Right. Right. Very important.
Very important.
Also, I feel uh, when parents fix their child, at some stage it becomes controlling.
Totally.
When the child gets married or he wants to do something else which the
Yes.
parent does not agree to. So,
Totally.
how does it affect the relationships?
Yes, it's again, I think this is something which so many children
Suffer
experience.
From,
I always tell parents, rather, being a psychologist, what comes naturally to me is asking a question rather than answering. So tell me, Tamanna, जो iPhone 15 better है कि iPhone 16 better है out of the two. Which one has better features?
16, of
Correct.
course. Yeah.
So the children that you have brought to this world, they definitely are evolved versions of you,
Yeah.
isn't it? And you, like a cookie cutter, you're trying to cut them into exactly the same
Same.
size and the same shape as you are. So
Yeah.
instead of you moving forward with your children, you're retracting them backward.
Yeah.
So where is growth here?
Yeah.
So our children definitely are better versions of us,
Yeah.
and they aren't here to fulfill our expectations, needs, and desires. So please don't dump them on your children. Our responsibility as parents is to, again, help them explore who they are, what they want to do, what interests them, and then become instrumental in providing that ecosystem where they bloom the most.
Yeah.
So there is a difference between being a potter parent
Yeah.
and a gardener parent.
Yeah.
A potter will take the clay and will mold and create something that he desires.
Yeah.
Whereas a gardener would just sow the seeds, tender the plant, nurture it, give it what it needs, and allow it to bloom in the most natural and healthiest
Wonderful.
possible way.
Yeah. That is so beautiful.
Isn't it? So
Yeah.
please, it's my earnest request to all the parents that you got to introspect. Am I a potter parent or a gardener parent? And if you are a potter parent,
Yeah.
start working on yourself to shift, to create that
Yeah.
shift in your perspective about your role as an adult in the
Yeah.
young one's lives.
Yeah, we do that in other relationships as well. We try to fix our partners as well. We try to fix our parents as well. कि आप ऐसे क्यों हो? आप ऐसे करो. So that becomes controlling, and also that affects the relationships.
Indeed.
So how do we not control and focus on our own? मतलब ये बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि इसमें कमी है, ये ठीक करे.
Correct. Okay. So Tamanna, let us say I'm a doctor
Yeah.
and you come to me with some ailment. You know, you have fever and cold and cough. And I write you 5-6 different prescriptions and I tell you, Tamanna, this one is for your mother-in-law, this one is for your husband, this is for your neighbor, this is for your boss.
Yeah.
Give them these prescriptions.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll impact your health in a positive manner?
My health? No.
No.
Yeah.
But when it comes to relationships,
Yeah.
we want prescriptions for everybody
Yeah.
but our own selves.
Yeah.
Whereas the only entity that you can control and manage is you.
Yeah.
But again, I think because we have 5 senses and our senses only process what's outside us, hence the one person to whom we ignore the most and do not work on is me. और हम अपनी तो सुनते नहीं और हम चाहते हैं कि सारे हमारी सुन
हमारी
लें.
सुनें.
So many of us, you know, we would put an alarm at night, but then we will, you know, I mean,
We will dismiss it and then we'll sleep.
So how many promises do we make to ourselves and we do not fulfill that?
Yeah.
Right? तो अपनी तो हम सुनते नहीं हैं, but हम चाहते हैं कि सब लोग हमारी सुने. My question again to everybody who's listening is, आप किसी की कितनी सुनते हो? You know, कभी कभी बैठ के ना इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करो और सोचो कि जैसे मैं किसी के साथ बिहेव कर रहा हूँ, अगर एग्जैक्टली वैसा बिहेवियर मेरे आसपास के लोग मेरे साथ करें, they dismiss me, they yell at me, they want me to do things that they want me to do, how would I feel?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So human beings have a very basic core need for autonomy and need for freedom. और हम तो ऑक्सीजन ही काट देते हैं लोगों का by wanting them to do.
What we want. Yeah.
So let's learn to accept people the way they are and not how we want them to be.
Yeah.
जब
That
दो
is so needed actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
जब दो लोग की शक्ल नहीं मिलती
Yeah.
तो दो लोग की अकल भी नहीं मिल सकती ना.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate this diversity. And we are all little pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. No two pieces look alike. But when we put all these pieces together, it creates a very beautiful, complete whole picture.
Yeah.
That's what our families, our societies, they need to look like. Yeah.
So, ma'am, as you do a lot of couple counseling as well, so आपको क्या लगता है कपल्स में सबसे ज़्यादा स्ट्रगल क्या है आजकल? किस लिए लोग थेरेपी, कपल्स किस लिए थेरेपी के लिए आते हैं?
So तमन्ना, जो हमने अभी बात करी, that you had a picture or a construct of marriage, of a spouse in your head. Even if it's a love marriage, you don't just marry a person, you marry the person's habits as well.
Yeah.
And so many times, who this person is not congruent with, is not aligned with probably what's your idea of marriage was. और ऊपर से बॉलीवुड ने तो रोमांस का और कंस्ट्रक्ट, प्यार का कंस्ट्रक्ट ही कुछ और बना दिया है ना.
Expectations high.
Lot of expectations, lot of romance, fantasy.
Yeah.
But when reality hits and you have to live with the person, with the kind of personality he or she is, the kind of habits he or she has, the kind of baggage that each one of us bring with us.
Yeah.
And as a spouse, obviously, you will deal with it.
Yeah.
Not directly sometimes, but indirectly. So when those expectations, when that fantasy or what you thought marriage is, and there is misalignment between that is, of course, one of the biggest reasons. Other than when there are genuine things, like there could be aggression, there could be, abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. That's a different story altogether, which needs to be addressed. But most of the times when I meet these couples individually as persons, both of them are beautiful humans. It's just that they are incompatible because there are certain differences of opinions, differences of perspectives. There are two different personalities, and we assume कि मेरा spouse तो मेरे जैसा ही होगा. So if I'm social and outgoing and my husband says introvert and quiet, this is nothing to fight around. You're two different people. So it's more about understanding and accepting the other person, looking at what is rather than what is not, and figuring a
common ground.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I have observed in my circle as well as with people, if in an argument, one person wants to express their emotions and other person wants to hide, push the topic under the carpet.
Yes.
तो वहाँ पे चीज़ें कैसे solve करें? When one is an anxious type person, other person is an avoidant type.
Yes. So there are different attachment styles which have to do with, your childhood experiences, who raised you and how you were raised.
Yeah.
इसका सबसे पहला जो step है वो awareness ही है. For both the spouses to understand that whenever things become difficult to handle, my spouse is going to behave in this particular manner. This is how he or she deals with it, right? And normally it happens that men shut down. Yeah. So there's again a gender difference. Yeah. Women wave in, whereas men cave in.
Oh.
Now again, there's a biology behind this. Okay. So remember I talked about fight or flight reaction. Yeah. So when there is fight or flight reaction, cortisols and testosterone and adrenaline, it is flushing, it is rushing in your system. Yeah. And especially men, they will feel too much of a overwhelm. So now why he or she is shutting down or wanting some spaces? Because they want to bring their system back to normal. Yeah. Whereas women, because of their biology, it's very easy for them to get back from this flooding to a calm mode. Because again, let's go back to, when we were hunter-gatherers, no matter how much argument happened between a man and a wife, the man will go out to the farm, whereas woman has to come back to her children to tend them.
Yeah.
So she has to calm down
Okay.
and nurture and nurse, right? So
Yeah.
over the period of time, what seems like stonewalling, it is stonewalling, shutting down or
Yeah.
not addressing it or putting it under the carpet.
Yeah.
But a man is taking his own time to sort of cope up with the physiological arousal that has gotten caused because of that argument that happened.
Right.
Now, that does not mean that stonewalling is justified.
Yeah.
It simply means that please self-soothe yourself, do something that brings you back,
Down, yeah.
or tell your partner that this is what I'm feeling. Allow me some, time off. Let me take a pause. Let me come back to you after 10 minutes, or let's talk about it after 1 hour. When I'm talking this, and when I'm saying this, I know it seems like a page from a fairy tale,
Yeah.
but this is what happens in a therapy room, where both the couples, they understand that our attachment styles are different, our communication styles are different, and both of us have faulty communication patterns.
Yeah.
Let's recognize that.
Yeah.
Let's acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And then every faulty communication pattern is replaced by something healthier and something which works during those situations when the argument is heating up and you're carrying so much of negativity against each other, and you're not addressing the current situation as it is, but obviously, there is so much past baggage, negative charge associated with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So आपने यहाँ पे healthy communication की बात की है. I
Yes.
think it plays a big role
Yes.
in any other relationship, all of the relationships.
Totally.
So how do we communicate effectively in an argument when we are at the surge of emotions?
Correct. So, Tamanna, what has been seen in communication patterns, especially when there is argument going on, so most of the times, two people, either there will be a lot of criticism, yeah, or contempt, or there will be justification, and the fourth is stonewalling that we just discussed, shutting down. So what happens during, communication, I would say, styles and communication pattern rectification sessions is, first of all, you are psychoeducated about all 4 different patterns. So when I say criticism, it is very different from complaint, right? A complaint is specific to a particular problem, whereas criticism is very global.
Yeah.
You don't do this, you never do that, you always do that, right? So criticism needs to be replaced with appreciation.
Okay.
Not everything is wrong with your spouse.
Yeah.
There are some things which are okay to your liking also, but when we are in a heated argument, we become totally blind to that. Talking about contempt. Contempt happens when one of the partner assumes or thinks that he or she is superior to the other one.
Yeah.
So then comes yelling, abusing, belittling, and calling names. And when there is contempt from one end, the second partner will always be defending oneself. I did this because. Isn't it? And now this becomes a pattern. So contempt again has to be replaced with being specific to the problem. Whatever is the issue, make it about the problem and not about the person. That is so important.
That is so important.
And when you're defending yourself, you are just adding fuel to the fire, because you will give an argument in defense.
Yeah.
There's going to be another, argument or some other coming. So defense is something that people need to work on, and stonewalling needs to be replaced with self-soothing, where you take a little pause, you take a little break, you leave that room, but you tell your partner, I'm going to come back and we will address this issue.
Yeah.
So I think 2 statements, Tamanna, that have worked the best in the past for me with couples to explain them. Now, My wife nags me
Hmm.
and I hate her is the statement which a husband told me.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, your wife nags you, but you hate it.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between hating a person.
Yeah. Or hating the nagging.
When they understand this distinction, a lot of resolution starts there.
Yeah.
So this is the small little tweaks in our perspective,
Yeah.
in the way we process things, can save the major damages that happens to our relationships in our lives.
Yeah.
And I mean, therapy is an investment,
Yeah.
because the biggest project that you will ever work on is you.
Yeah.
So learn to invest in that.
So give us some practical phrases that can actually work during an argument, not just with the partner, but any difficult communication anywhere, with in-laws, with parents, where we are not able to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing that I have learned in my life and that has worked the best for me is, whatever happens, don't make it about yourself. Simply put, don't take it personally. So if Tamanna is yelling at me,
Yeah.
it is she problem and not a me problem.
Yeah.
But when I take it personally,
Yeah.
the whole
Perception.
equation, perception changes.
Yeah.
So if someone is angry at a particular moment or remains angry, he or she doesn't become angry just with you.
Yeah.
This problem persists with everybody else.
Definitely.
Correct. And you allowed that person to dump that garbage onto you, and now you are carrying that garbage all over.
Yeah.
So please learn to guard yourself
Yeah.
from that garbage by telling yourself, it's not about me,
Yeah.
it's about the other person, right? And in many cases, Tamanna, you must learn to say, let them.
Yeah.
We talked about control,
Yeah.
right? So many things that you cannot control, let go the control.
Yeah.
Why should people work the way you want to?
Yeah.
Why should they function what you think is most appropriate way of doing that? And you asked for the phrases.
Yeah.
Instead of making you statements, let the statements be I statements. You always yell at me. I do not like it, or I feel very hurt when you yell at me. Avoid using the words like always and never.
Yeah.
तुम कभी मेरी बात नहीं सुनते.
Yeah.
तुम हमेशा अपनी बात पूरी करते हो.
Yeah. हमने उनकी पूरी पर्सनालिटी को ही डिस्कार्ड कर
Totally.
दिया. Yeah.
And there are times when, your spouse or your parent listens to you, but when you say hamesha never, which is absolutism,
Yeah.
the other person shuts down because you have completely disregarded those times, those moments, those interactions which were sensitive and which were pro you.
Yeah.
So, and third very important thing, which is with children especially, मान लीजिए your child, आपका कपड़ा खींच रहा है या आपको ऐसे मार रहा है. So normally what we say, don't do that, right? You say something like, and it is true for adults also, I don't like it when you pull my clothes or when you push me, move around me, come from the other side. So you're not making it about you're not using a you statement, which is generally taken as an accusatory statement, like normally you hear, तुमने मुझे गुस्सा दिलाया, तुम मुझे गुस्सा दिलाते हो, right? So rather than a you statement, make it an I statement, right? And second thing, tell them also what they are supposed to do or what they are expected to do.
Yeah.
So when you give them a remedy, when you give them an option, when you give them another possibility, you're also installing what is it you want them to do rather than just ticking somebody for what has just happened.
Yeah.
So, I statement rather than a you statement.
Statement.
Avoid absolutism and talk about how you have felt in the given situation rather than what other person has done, and tell them what is it that you expect them to do.
Yeah.
You can always give it a shot and see
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah. आपने अभी बताया कि allow yourself to communicate. So I feel there is a role of healthy boundaries.
Very important.
So you communicate your boundaries to the other person.
Absolutely.
So how do you communicate your boundaries to the other person compassionately? Otherwise, other person may feel offended, or he might feel that I have cut this person off. So how do we do this in a manner where the other person does not feel offended or rejected?
Okay. So, Tamanna, first of all, you got to honor your own boundaries as much you are honoring someone else's needs.
Yeah.
So, we are quite sensitive to other people's needs, but many a times we compromise on our own needs, and that's called being a passive person. On the other hand, an aggressive person is only bothered about one's own self
Yes.
and completely dismissive
The
of
other person.
other person needs, desires, and maybe boundaries. So the balance is called assertiveness, where you value someone else, their time, their energy, their space, but at the same time, you value all those things for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So, again, making it about the issue, communicating it about what happened rather than making it about the personality. Isn't it? That's very important. And then telling them about your feelings. I felt hurt when this happened. I felt dismissed when you did not listen to me. I felt very worried when you got this late coming from office or whatever. Next time I want you to drop a text around that. So when you talk about your feelings first, and then say then talk about what has led to the feelings that
Yeah.
you're feeling, right? And then tell them what is your expectation. What is it that they need to do? Because most of the times we tell them मुझे बुरा लगा, या तो क्या करना है, तुमको क्या करना है. And many a times I would hear people say, ये भी हम ही बताएं. So I would say, yes.
Yeah.
If it is your need, you got to communicate.
Yeah.
Or else how will the other person
Yeah.
get to know?
Yeah. We need to figure out first कि करना क्या है. हमको
बिल्कुल
ये भी नहीं पता.
नहीं पता होता. And we outsource it.
Yeah.
कि बस ये हो गया, अब देखो. That is why I say the whole journey, Tamanna, it starts with self-awareness. मुझे क्या चाहिए, है ना? और बाउंड्री का मतलब यही होता है that I'm protecting myself, but at the same time I'm honoring someone else's territory as well, and not intruding in their territory, their space, and honoring their choices. And we are just trying to figure out a middle path.
Yeah.
That's how two mature people
Yeah.
live together.
और जब आप अपनी फीलिंग्स को एक्सप्रेस करो बट सामने वाला डिसमिस कर दे, तो इज इट अ रेड फ्लैग फॉर लाइक कैन वी कंसिडर दैट पर्सन अ रेड फ्लैग?
आपने कुछ एक्सप्रेस किया, सामने वाले ने डिसमिस किया, और आपने बहुत हेल्दीली कम्युनिकेट किया दैट
Yeah.
आई फेल्ट डिसमिस्ड,
या
when you did this, I want you to listen to me, I want you to give me a full attention.
या
आपने एक बार, दो बार, तीन बार बताया, yet there is no change in the behavior, then of course you can sit and think about it, that despite expressing what I need and telling how the other person can be instrumental in fulfilling that particular need, which is legit
या
psychological, emotional need, yet if that person is insensitive,
Yeah.
and then you can sit and consider it as a red flag.
Yeah. Then we can
Because
use that phrase, let them.
let them.
है ना? So when families are involved, especially in-laws, और अगर जॉइंट फैमिली है, साथ में रह रहे हैं, तो बहुत इन्वॉल्वमेंट होता है फैमिलीज़ का इन द इवन इन द आर्ग्यूमेंट्स ऑफ कपल्स. तो कई लोग कहते हैं कि हमारे इश्यूज तो नहीं है आपस में, बट फैमिलीज की वजह से वी फाइट. वी टेंड टू हैव एन आर्ग्यूमेंट बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टेन पर्सन डिड दिस थिंग. तो उनको कैसे रिजॉल्व करें व्हेन families are involved and their involvement is bothering them?
And again, a very relevant question. Now, whether it's a love marriage or it's an arranged marriage, you have spent more time with your family than with your spouse.
Yeah.
So your spouse is a newcomer, right? So you have engaged with your family. Sometimes you're even entangled with your family a lot. So if the issues are happening because of the family, my sincere advice to the couples is stop defending your families in front of your spouses. If your wife has an issue with your mother or vice versa, normally it's because the girl leaves the house, she stays in her in-laws house, at least in our culture, in our setup. So obviously, it's the in-laws, the boy's parents tend to be more involved, or sometimes to the extent of being interfering. Please hear out your spouse, listen to your spouse without giving any suggestions, without defending, without explaining what your mom or your dad would have meant, what their intent would have been. Because if only you listen to someone without giving a suggestion, without trying to fix it, without telling them what to do, it is going to resolve a lot of things between, or it is not, at least it will not aggravate or escalate anything. Right? I know the human tendency would be, let me show him or her the other side of the picture. But when someone is upset, only thing they want to happen is a space where somebody is listening to them, giving them undivided attention. Because when you listen to somebody, the message that person receives is, I understand you. So just zip your mouth, listen to your spouse, show some empathy. Maybe he or she is, the perspective is wrong, but at least at that time, become an ally, become a friend to each other. How do friends listen to each other? Totally democratic space. Right? And have this feeling that, or give your spouse this feeling that we are a team. We are together in this. I hear you, I feel you. We'll work out a solution for this. The day we master this art, which takes time, because the immediate urge will be to let the other person know, no, this is not what my mother meant, this is not what my father meant. So just work on that urge and listen to your partner. That's it.
So again, they take it personally, that she's talking about my parent.
Precisely.
My mother.
Precisely. That taking it personally, and also taking this also personally, that I have to fix it. There are two adults who are developing a relationship between them, right? So don't become that knight in the armor where you have to fix everything for everybody. Don't take over that role. Your job is just allow the space to those emotions and let them diffuse. And once the emotions are diffused, our emotions hijack our logic completely. The logic will resurface, a new perspective, or the sheer fact that, okay, my husband listens to me, my wife understands me, it's okay, parents are like that only, but we get along very well with each other. That's about it. And then of course, give each relation the due that it deserves. You brought a new girl in your life, or there's a new person in your life, they deserve the legit space that belongs to them.
Yeah.
So do justice with different relationships, right? And my sincere request to parents also, just let children be.
Yeah.
You know, they are beginning a new life, and this relationship is something that is going to be a long lasting or a lifelong relationship.
Yeah.
So please understand that anything that is new is going to take some time, right? So, and don't parent adults.
Yeah.
Just let them be. Let them experiment. Let them fall. Let them fight, and be there for them as
Yeah.
and when they need you.
Yeah. So when other person feels heard and acknowledged, half of the
Hmm.
work is done.
You said it.
Yeah.
You said it.
आपका क्या मैसेज रहेगा उन कपल्स को जो स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं विद देयर डिसएग्रीमेंट्स विद देयर फाइट्स विद द प्रेशर अराउंड सो व्हाट मैसेज वुड यू गिव टू देम
So, like, we have basic physiological needs, right? Without which our physical survival is almost impossible. Similarly, we all human beings, we have three basic psychological needs: need to be seen, need to be heard, and need to be valued. So, let's give every people or people around us the gift of our undivided attention, at least for some time during the day, when there are no digital devices, when there are no distractions. For especially for couples, spend 10, 15, 20 minutes a day with each other, not discussing marriage,
ओके
your marriage, but
Okay.
anything else outside your marriage.
Yeah.
And please make your partner feel seen, heard, and valued. Marriages do not become strong with international holidays or fancy dinners or, dream dates. Marriages actually become, or the bond becomes strong with the everyday engagement and the everyday involvement that we have in each other's lives. How we get interested in other person's interest.
Yeah.
How do we hold space for them? How do we understand their bids for help? Sometimes it come like a very angry phrase from the spouse, but actually it's a bid for help. So just learn to create the distinction between what is being said and how it is being said. And I think this companionship, this partnership, it's one of the most intimate, or it is the most intimate and one of the most beautiful relationships, because अपने बाकी सारे relationships ना हम share करते हैं. हम अपने parents को, अपने brothers, sisters, siblings के साथ share करते हैं, अपने friends को share करते हैं. But ये जो spouse relationship है ना, it is so intimate, it is so exclusive. So honor it and give each other a lot of space. Don't expect your partner to become like you. There are going to be differences. Instead of cribbing and complaining about these differences, celebrate these differences and become collaborative towards life and things. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. एंड थैंक यू. आई थिंक लोगों को बहुत हेल्प मिलेगी जो भी कपल स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं और जिनमें बहुत रेजिस्टेंस है थेरेपी को लेकर, उनको बहुत हेल्प मिलेगी. एंड आई थिंक आज के पॉडकास्ट के बाद दिल बी मोर ओपन टू हैविंग अ डिस्कशन और हैविंग अ थेरेपी सेशन.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Tamanna, and I really want to congratulate you for this initiative that you have taken, for creating this space where people from different, professionals, from different walks of life, they come. And I think this is a big service that you're doing for fellow humans, to bring so many perspectives under one umbrella. And I'm sure this is helping so many people. So I really want to congratulate you
Thank you
and
so
pat your
much.
back
Thank
for
you.
this wonderful initiative. And thank you so much for having me here. And I hope people would find it
My
useful.
pleasure, ma'am. My
And
pleasure.
looking forward to more
Definitely.
engagements with
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
सो मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में जानना उन एक्सपर्ट्स से इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि उन्होंने इस सब्जेक्ट को इतनी गहराई से पढ़ा है, सो दैट हम क्लियरली समझ पाएँ कि कैसे हम इस स्ट्रगल से बाहर निकलें?